someone needs to be my like reminder of recording, like, hey, are you recording this? So now I'm recording this. So last every other quarter I've been totally fine and I've never had issues, and then like this quarter I've been like scatterbrained and not recording. So if you guys ever need to find your YouTube videos, you'll find it under stream. You'll always see what we did that day, whatever it says on the board in our homeroom. It'll be here. And then you'll have the YouTube video and you'll have the notes for the day. All right. So this is the first place you guys should look. The other place you guys can look is on your notebook. So the very first day of your notes, you're going to see that there's going to be a link where you can click on it and it'll send you to your notes. Or you can click on the day one YouTube and it'll send you to the YouTube channel, and then you'll, you know, hear me and see all the craziness of this stuff. All right. So you guys have it that way as well. So again, you can either go here to the front under stream or the first day of every set of notes. So day one, first day, it's right there. If I go to day 5, you'll see the YouTube and the notes on day not day 5, page 5. That's day 2. And then for today, we're on page 7. You see the notes here. You don't see the YouTube because obviously I'm recording it right now, but you will see this eventually once it's ready. Also, don't forget, whenever you are done with a page, click on the little hand symbol and click on please check. This lets me know that this page right here is 100% done. If you need help, click on the please help and I can help you. I did get to play around with some of this stuff where it like lets me be able to help whoever is asking for it. So that is interesting, but you should just get help from me. If you turn something in and I notice that something is wrong, some of you guys have already gotten a taste of it because you guys submitted an assignment yesterday and I was like, oh, this is wrong. I do little video audio. It's only audio. It's not video. It's audio. And I'll record, hey, good job on this. I did notice that one of the biggest things that I noticed was when it comes to the fraction that you guys did for rise and run, you flipped it and you did it backwards and you did the run on top and the rise on the bottom. So I, mentioned that in class or like in the audio. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I will be bringing it up as we go through all of our notes as well. But if you ever see that I didn't give you full credit, go to the assignment and you should see a recording of what you should have done and how to fix it. So that's nice. I got a lot of feedback that you guys were really liking the fact that it's an audio recording versus having to read everything and getting kind of confused. I'm like, wait, what does she mean by that? So audio recordings are probably going to be used. I can even add audio in some of the Google Slides. So I'm probably going to start using that as well for any of our other assignments. So I'm going to move forward that way. Yeah.
It erased the thing from yesterday.
So did you log in?
Yeah.
For some, like one of my students first period yesterday said the same thing, but I was able to still see his stuff. So let me actually look. Can you write on yours by chance? Because he said that he wasn't able to write.
No, yeah, yes, I can write on it. But like the stuff isn't there.
So I see that you're on to, oh. Yeah, yours is blank. I don't know what happened to yours. Because We'll have to play around with it because that's weird. I haven't had that happen to anyone else. I see that your like first 2 pages are clear, but oh, you just did something. It just disappeared again.
I don't know. I didn't even touch the screen. I was just looking at it. I haven't touched anything. But I logged in right now and nothing's there.
Yeah, I'll have to look at your account. Just keep working on this one because something just happened where I just saw everything move on your page. That's weird. So so don't worry about it. Because like I said, I literally just saw your second page go filled to blank in like a second. So
I don't
yeah,
know.
it must be possessed.
It must
So,
be.
so we'll see what happens. But just keep working on this. I've been seeing that you've been doing your work. So if anything, like I know that's actually the nice thing that about me looking at ClassKick and having you guys do the your turns is that I can see who's been working on their stuff and who hasn't every single day. So I know that you've been working on your stuff. So if anything, don't worry about it. Like you're fine. Like you won't have to do it again. So you're good.
Okay.
All right. Let's get started, guys. We do have a lot to get done. Well, we don't have a lot to get done. It's just going to take us a while to get it done just because we are practicing. So a couple of things. If you are on your phone and you're going to be drawing or something, if you click on the select mode on an iPad, I think it's either an iPad or a phone, something that has a smaller screen, all of these extra options for the marker, the highlighter, and the eraser is going to be under the select mode. Same thing with the cross. I think some of you guys have the cross symbol as well. It'll be under that select mode, and you guys can just go back and forth between what you guys need. It is kind of on you guys. Some of you guys are on a computer like I am. For me personally, doing typing is a little easier. For those of you guys who are on a phone or an iPad, maybe drawing will be easier for you guys. Am I going to mark you guys wrong or like take away points if you choose one over the other? No, it is whatever is easier, faster, more comfortable for you in particular. When I have an iPad, I normally use a stylus. This stylus is super cool. You can get this on Amazon for like 20 bucks and it writes very nice. And it's a chargeable one. There's no battery and it takes like 10 minutes to get it fully charged and it lasts me like a week. Yeah. So many people like have this one. So it is a very nice marker, nice stylus. And it has a very nice like pointed pen. So hashtag not sponsored, but like, it's a good pen or a good stylus. So yeah. All right, let's get started. So we are on day 3. We're going to be talking about the slope formula for today. So what are you going to be able to do today? I can determine the slope of a line given 2 points. So the last day or yesterday, we talked about counting how many we're going up and how many we're going over. So the rise over the run. This time around, sometimes we might not have that luxury of being able to count how many I'm going up and over. So I'm going to be given something like this where I'm given 2 points or I'm given a table. So using the slope formula is really beneficial. It'll save us time versus having to draw out a graph and figure it out. But where does something like that come from? So we're going to talk about that today. So I can determine the slope of a line given 2 points. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to click on that T. Again, do whatever you guys think is easier for yourselves. And I'm going to type in, I can determine the slope of a line given 2 points. Again, does it have to look super nice? I know some of you guys like drawing the pens or drawing on your style without a stylus or whatever is a little bit tricky. Type it up if it's easier. This is the reason why it's going to take us the whole period to kind of go through these notes. I also want to 100% know that you guys understand the slopes, or you understand how to find it. You also understand how to use Classkick. So if you're having any issues, let me know. We will try and figure it all out. So we'll go step by step, okay? All right, guys, give me a thumbs up once you guys are ready. All you had to do was just type up that one sentence, and then we'll move on from there. Okay. All right. So looking at this, there's a couple of things that we, again, like need to understand in order to understand where in the world this slope formula comes from. And I know I haven't shown you yet, but we'll get there. So when I'm given 2 points, one way, like the way that we're supposed to label the points is we have to pick which one of these points is going to be point 1 and which one's going to be point 2. So I'm going to say this is point 1 and it's going to be labeled X1, Y1. The ones just represent, this is the first point, not a value. It's nothing like that. It's just telling me this is point number 1, which means that this point right here is going to be point number 2. How do we know that? Again, it's going to say X2, Y2. That 2 just means that this is the second point. Now think, how can I figure out slope? I need to figure out how many I'm going up, right? That's our rise. So how can I figure that out if I can't count that? Well, I'm going to take this Y2 and I'm going to subtract it by Y1 to find the distance, to find how far Y2 and Y1 are from each other. So we're going to subtract Y2 minus Y1. That's going to give us that top number. All right. Then we're going to look at the bottom. How can we figure out that run? So how are we going to figure out which, are we going left or right, by how much? We can do the same thing as our y's, and we're going to subtract. X2 minus X1 is going to give us that distance between the first point and the second point. So that's where we're getting the Y2 minus Y1, X2 minus X1. So keep that in mind as we're moving forward. On a table, actually, let's just do this part. Let's go ahead and fill this in our page. So I'm going to click on that marker. I'm going to click on blue, and I'm going to draw hopefully straight lines. Ooh, see, I messed it up at the end. So I'm going to draw straight lines-ish. And I'm going to write Y2 minus Y1. And then I'm going to click on the marker, change this to red. And now I'm going to go down and down. And I'm going to type up X2 minus X1. Lastly, I'm going to label my points. So I'm going to put X1, comma, Y1. And label this point X2, comma, Y2. It should look something like that. And again, we're slowly going step by step. I want you guys to be able to practice grabbing that marker, changing the colors. Again, we will need to be able to change colors later on in the future as we're drawing more and more lines. So it is beneficial to be able to do that, or, to learn how to change colors and stuff. So today is a practice day. I want you guys to see, okay, this is how I use this. This is how I use that. Do I have to type whenever, Doc types? No, if it's easier for you guys to draw this out, then draw it out. If you like the typing, I really like the typing because I can't, like, look at my, like, this straight, actually this straight line isn't that bad. This one isn't that bad. This one, my other periods, they were really bad. So I'm getting better. So give me a thumbs up once we're good. Clap if you guys need more time. Oh, I see a lot of claps. Okay. Yeah. Backing off. I apologize. So again, guys, it's just, I want you guys to, at least practice. Also keep in mind how simple the notes I have been doing for you guys, with you guys just dragging things over, how much time I save us by having you guys just drag it versus you guys having to write it or type it in. I save a lot of time. I don't hear you're welcome or thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you.
I'm kidding.
Doc, my lines came out so horrible.
It's okay. It can't be as worse.
Yeah,
It was straight and it like curved and then went back
well, look
straight,
at
and I was
this
like,
one.
okay.
It was perfect until this little like bloop.
You
Like
can erase a little
straight. I mean, I can, but then like I feel like if I actually like wait, yeah. See,
Oh,
I was
wait a
gonna say it's gonna delete the entire thing
Oh wow.
because it's assuming that you want to delete the whole line versus just a
Oh,
little.
the partial. Wow.
Yeah. Which is actually, I mean, it's nice because then I don't have to like scribble all the way and then it doesn't pick certain pieces. Like this is just like, boom, everything's gone, which I like, but you can't get fine detail that way. My daughter has been practicing, drawing for so long now that, she'll show me something and I'm like, oh, that looks so nice. I hate you. And she's like, oh, thank you, mommy. And she now understands it. The more I say I hate you, the more she knows that I love what she's doing. But I'm like super jealous that I can't do the same thing. Like stick figures. I can't draw a stick figure. Like,
That's all I can
Miss,
draw.
you can't drug stick figure.
with my big old head. That's as good as my drawing gets. I can't do anything more than that.
That's the way I do mine.
Yeah.
It's like
It's like playing. I was gonna say it's like playing hangman. I hate you being successful. No, it's not that. It's like I had this one student a couple of years ago who was like an artist. She had like this mindset that she loved to draw, and drawing to her made life make sense. But she was drawing on her notebook one day, and I came by her and saw her drawing, and she covered it and she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, dude, it's fine. And her drawings matched the notes we were taking, and somehow everything that she drew made the formulas that we were talking about make sense to her. And apparently I was the only math teacher, or the only teacher in general, that understood her thinking, that allowed her to continue that. And I was like, it's your notebook. Like, you guys should have the right to be able to do whatever you need. But like, it's so cool to see the way people think. And I would like draw like little, like I looked forward to grading that notebook every single time, because I was able to look at all those beautiful pictures, and it had nothing to do with math, but somehow like she made that connection, and it was beautiful. Like, I love that kind of language. So it's awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Everyone done now? Yes? Thumbs up?
Yes.
Better give me a thumbs up. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to do, so this is if I'm given just 2 points. If I'm given a table, it's not always going to be this nice and only give you 2. They're probably going to give you more. But if we're given a table where we need to label it like this, where our X and our Y are gonna be next to each other, the first row is gonna be 1, the second row is gonna be 2. If we were given more of these, for instance, I could, see, horrible. I can draw more of these. I could say X3 or Y3, but honestly, you get to pick which one of these you guys want to be X1, Y1. So it doesn't necessarily need to be this very first row. It could be the third row. Why would you pick the third and fourth row? Maybe the third row has a 0, or the first 2 have negatives and the last 2 have positive numbers. That's one you would want to pick the bottom ones. So there are some times that you don't want to pick the first 2. You want to pick the last 2. That's perfectly fine. What isn't fine is if I go, I want this X and this Y and this X and that Y. You can't do that. All right. That's the only no, you can't do that. But you can pick this row and this row. Honestly, there are, like I said, there's sometimes you want to pick a different row than just the top and bottom, or the 2 top ones, because there might be a 0, there might be a 1. Life becomes so much easier when you have 0s and 1s. So let's go back here. I'm going to type in this time X1, and then type in Y1, and type in X2, and type in, whoops, Y2. Also, if you guys wanted to change the color, you guys could do that as well. So you would highlight it and change the color. So I can make that red, or I can make that purple, or I can even change the inside of it and make it like green. So you guys can, there's different options that you guys have up here. Make the text bigger and smaller, all that fun stuff. So that's kind of one thing that I want you guys to kind of play around with, learn how to do. All right, give me a thumbs up once you guys are ready with that. That one shouldn't have taken too long. Awesome, awesome. All right, now we can talk about that formula. So remember yesterday we talked about rise over the run. So rise was going up and down that y-axis. So we're going to be subtracting the y's. The run is moving left and right. So that's your x-axis. So we're going to be subtracting the x's. So if I click over here, what I would probably do is I'm going to draw 2 lines and my equal symbols. And then I'm going to type the rest of it. So I'm going to type in, ooh, you're going to continue to do that? No. Ooh, but I want the purple. Rise. And then click here and do run. Oh, no background. There we go. And then I'm going to do y2 minus y1. And then do x2 minus x1.
Okay.
And I'm going to move this guy over a little bit. There we go. So again, play around with it a little bit. Find out what is best for you guys. Like I said, maybe it's typing, maybe it's drawing, maybe do a little bit of the 2, whichever way works best for you. Are we ready? Give me a thumbs up.
No, not yet, dog. Not yet.
Wait. But again, do you guys see the amount of time that I save you from just pushing things over versus you guys having to write it all? It's a lot of time you're
Yes.
saving.
Dog, selecting mode gets me very, very mad.
Why?
I'm trying to move it and then the whole thing moves and it just goes all over the place.
The whole thing moves? It should be in the background and you shouldn't be able to move it.
Like I want to move my text and then the sheet gets like smaller and yeah, I can't move it.
Oh, make sure that you're on mode and not the cross.
No, yeah, I am on selector mode and it just moves.
Yeah, that I have nothing.
Yeah.
See, this is why, like, practicing, trying to figure out tips. And if you figure out a tip, guys, please let me know so that I can help, like, I can share that with other people and go, oh yeah, someone figured that out. So yeah, let me know if you guys find any of that. Another thing, if we look at the slope formula, the slope formula, one of the biggest mistakes that I see, and it's kind of like what I was talking about your homework. Some of you guys wrote the run first up on the top and then the rise. So you counted left and right first, and then you counted up and down. So your fraction, your slope was flipped upside down. Same thing goes with the formula. I see a lot of people put the Y on the bottom and the X's on top. I feel like maybe it's, it's supposed to be in ABC order. So people put the X's on top and then the Y. So one way that I have found that helps people understand, like, oh, the X should go first or the X should go on the bottom, is think about a table. I'm drawing a table here. How many legs does a table have? Does a table have 2 legs or does a table have 4 legs? Can anyone let me know? 2 or 4? How many legs does the table have?
4.
4, right? So if I put the Y's on the bottom, then that would only have 2 legs. An X has, like, putting 2 X's together has 4. So putting the X on the bottom is going to make that table, that fraction symbol, that it's going to be able to stay and it's not going to move. So maybe think of that as you guys are trying to remember, wait, is it the X that goes on top or is it the bottom? So do it that way. And you guys, you'll have an easier time at it. All right, are we good to move on?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, so
Yes.
let's go and look at our first example. The first thing that you guys should always do whenever you're given anything like this, we're going to label our points. So we're going to say that this is our first point. So this is going to be x1. So the 4 is going to be x1. The 3 is going to be y1. So this is our first point. I could have said that this is the first point, but I'm following. I'm picking this one as the first one. Then I'm going to label the second point. So -2 is going to be x2. -1 is going to be y2. All right. So it's good to label them. I noticed, like, for instance, the homework that we had on Tuesday where you guys had to tell me, is it positive? Is it negative? Is it 0? Is it undefined? I noticed the people who wrote the word slope had 100% correct, maybe like 1 wrong, but for the most part, those people got 100%, while the people who were just like winging it, they had a lot of mistakes. All right. So labeling it helps you guys out. I know it's an extra step, but it will help out in the end. All right. I'm going to write down the formula. You don't have to rewrite it again because you obviously have it up here. But if you guys want to rewrite it, you guys can. And then the other thing that I would say, once you guys label these, is always start off the formula with your fraction bar and the two subtractions. The reason for this is sometimes you might get one of these points to be a negative. And I see this all the time where you guys see a negative here. So you automatically assume that this subtraction symbol goes away because, well, I have a negative here, so then I don't need this. Yes, you do. All right. You still would have to multiply both of these together. And then that turns into a positive. And we will see an example on this here later on. All right. So it is very important for you guys to always remember to put these two subtraction symbols first. So get in the habit, label your points, and then put the fraction symbol, put the subtractions down before you start plugging in or substituting. Let's use, some, higher vocabulary. So before we substitute or plug in our numbers, always put those subtractions down first so that we don't forget that extra negative. All right. So let's start substituting in our numbers. Y2, what's Y2? That's a -1. So I'm going to have a -1 there. What's Y1? Y1 is 3. So I'm going to plug that in. Notice I'm not having to worry about that subtraction symbol because it's already there. I don't have to worry. Does it turn positive or negative? Not yet. We're just plugging in our numbers. What's X2? X2 is -2. So that goes to the front. What's X1? X1 is 4. So that goes to the back. All right. From here, we can simplify. I have a -1 minus 3. Same sign, add and keep. So we're going to add these up and keep the sign of the bigger, keep the sign just in general. What do I get when I get -1 minus 3? -1 minus 3 gives me what? Same sign, add and keep. What would my answer be?
-4.
-4. So I'm going to have a -4. Why? I have to add 1 and 3. That gives me a negative. That gives me a 4. And because they're both negative, I'm going to keep that negative symbol. On the bottom, same thing. I have a -2 and a -4. What does -2 and -4 give me?
-6.
-6. All right. Now, here is the problem. I saw this on your homework yesterday. You guys saw this and you're like, cool, I'm done. No, you are not. Couple of things. One, I have a negative on top and a negative on bottom. You can simplify that. A negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. So at the very least, this should be a positive answer and not stay negative and negative. Another thing is that 4 and 6, I can divide the top and the bottom by, a number and make this into a more simplified version. What number can I divide top and bottom by?
2.
By 2. So I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to divide the top by 2. And I'm going to divide the bottom, by 2. And then I can figure that out. Remember, these negatives now turn into a positive because I divided them. Negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 6 3 times. Now we are okay. 2 and 3, nothing goes into both. I'm going to leave them just like that. So this would be our answer. Again, you guys had something similar to this on your homework yesterday, and a lot of you guys just left it like this and you didn't simplify. Make sure that you guys are simplifying. So we're gonna go here. And let's draw this out. So I'm going to draw, let's see, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and 4. And then I'm gonna type everything else in. So y2 minus y1. You don't have to do this part. I like doing this part because I don't want to forget my formula. X2 minus x1. You had -1 minus 3. And -2 minus 4. Which gave you -4 and a -6. But then we are going to divide top and bottom by 2. And finally, gets 2 over 3. Let me zoom in for you guys. Zoom in. There we go. Give me a thumbs up once you guys are good. Yeah, I see. I know that some of you guys are gonna need, have claps. Both of these are negative. So this is a -1 minus 3. I owe you $1. I owe you 3. So I owe you 4. This is I owe you 2. I owe you 4. So now I owe you 6. So a negative and a negative will give me a positive. So both of these are negative. So now this will be positive because a negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. But just like you guys, always double check my negatives. You never know. Like it's third period at this point, I'm kind of hungry and, I probably will forget something. So always double check my work. I think my daughter's laughing at me. How are we doing? Are we good? Can we move on? No? Okay. Let's do a stretch, move your shoulders, stretch your arms. Always worry about those shoulders because we're sitting either on a desk or, laying down on our, couch or whatever. Like I always notice one of your shoulders will always like start hurting. Like mine is my left one because I kind of like lean. So always like, stretch, push your arms out. Don't knock anything over. So, yeah, you're sitting on a bed. I found out that there's a teacher that teaches laying down on his bed. And I always see him like at some of my like meetings. It's not anyone at CV. It's someone like somewhere else. Whenever all the math teachers get together, like I see him and I'm like, that's kind of weird. Like, yeah, you want to, yeah. No, and I understand kids doing it. It's just, weird, like seeing teachers do it. But I mean, I'm in my living room, so and then you see my treadmill like in the behind me, and now you see my son on his iPad. So nap period. All right, last one, guys, and then we'll get into the your turn. Wait. Okay. So first thing, obviously, label your points. On the side, on the left side, we're going to label them with our X's. So we're going to say that this first row is going to be 0.1. The second row is going to be 0.2. So this will be X1, X2, which means that the other side should be Y1, Y2. Like I said, if we had extra rows, then all you would have to do is just pick which 2 rows are you guys going to use. If you ever see zeros, always pick that one. That one is just going to make your life a lot easier. Try and not pick ones with negatives. Again, you guys are, I mean, let's be honest. You guys hate negatives. You guys mess up with negatives. It is easier to, look. You might deal with bigger numbers, just not negatives. So always think about that. Let's grab our formula. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Remember, you want 4 legs on the bottom, not 2. And we always want to start off with that fraction bar and then the 2 subtraction symbols. And then we can start looking and substituting or plugging in the numbers that we have. So this is a 14. So I'm going to substitute that in for y2. Y1 is 10. So 10 goes there. Then I have x2. So I'm going to put that there. And x1 is 8. So I'm going to put that there. This one's a little bit easier just because this is a very simple, like a normal subtraction. 14 minus 10. 14 minus 10 gives me a 4. Here's another one like we did, in the last equation. -7 and a -8. Same sign, add and keep. And I'm going to keep, so it's going to be 15. Same, adding 7 plus 8 is 15. And I'm going to keep the sign, which is negative. Double check. Can I simplify 4 and 15? Does anything go into 4 and 15? No, doesn't, so I'm going to leave it just like that. What does this slope mean? It means I'm going to climb 1, 2, 3, 4 up and then 15 to the left. All right. The negative on the bottom means that I'm going to be going to the left. If a negative was on the top, then that means I would have gone down. All right. So let's move to our notes. I'm going to zoom out again. I'm going to draw those guys again. So draw and draw and then draw one more time. And now I'm going to type everything in. Again, I am still going to write out the formula just because, I like that habit. So x2 minus x1. And then I have 14 minus 10. And I have -7 minus 8. And that total gives me 4 and -15. If you guys were waiting to take a screenshot, then I would take a screenshot of this right now. Remember, here up on the top, you guys are going to have a YouTube link later today. If you are 100% done, press that little hand symbol and mark please check. That lets me know that yes, I can start checking this. If you are done, then what I would like you guys to do is try out questions 1, 2, and 3. We are going to be working on that, and I'm going to give you guys some time to work on that here in a bit. Finish off this first. Click on that please check. So I'm going to click on please check. I love ClassKick because it even without seeing, like, having to click into your stuff, like I can see all of your guys' work, who's been working on it, your little drawings of like this little graph. Like, it's super awesome to see like everyone working, which is nice. Ooh, people have already started your turn. Fantastic. I see you.
So it's 4.
So good job on that. It's always funny whenever I like see someone like with all their work and it's all colorful and I'm like, oh my God, who was that did all of that stuff? And it's me. Like, oh my God. Is everyone done with this page? Does anyone still need it? Can you give me a clap if you guys still need this page? Okay, I see some of you guys still need it. Again, if you are already done with this, mark it with a green hand and then move on to slide 8. And you guys will get started on your questions. Be careful. Your answers, your answers should be done and marked here, not drawn. Click in here and then type it in. If you guys put in the wrong answer, it'll mark it as red. If you need to draw a fraction, then put a slash. If you need a negative, then do it like that. Put the negative in the front. I'll give you guys another second with this side, and then we're going to switch over to the other side. All right. So the question is, will we ever have to add in any of these problems? Do you mean like create these problems yourself? I don't think I understand your question.
I mean, like problems like when we're subtracting, will we ever have to do some with adding?
Oh, so yes. So like, well, I mean, we were adding. There were plenty of times that we were adding. Like we had like this part right here, we added this. But you can also get, if I have a negative and a negative, then yes, that would turn positive and then I would add. You don't have that until the last question, number 3. Question number 3, your negatives turn into a positive. But I am going to give you guys 5 minutes. I want you guys to work on this page on ClassKick on your turn. I want you at the very least, 5 minutes to get that first question done. We're gonna go over it, but I am seeing who's participating on it now. And which one of you guys are just waiting until the very last second to like do that? Don't wait till the last second, get it done. Try it out, guys. All right, couple of more. Oh my God. Okay, let's, you have 3 more minutes. Because, the start button doesn't start. Remember, don't forget to label these guys. This is X1. This is Y1. X2. Y2.
X1.
Was this, label?
Y2. Okay, let's see.
My son's being loud. I apologize. I like doing that with all of my points first, and then I start getting into it. So as you guys are working on that first one, I'm gonna label all of these X1, Y1. This is X2, Y2. X1, X2, there we go. Y1 and Y2. All right. Let's get started on this. Some of you guys might have gotten the answer. Did anyone get the answer for question number 1? Can someone let me know? Or is someone kind of confused going, wait, I got the answer, but it keeps saying no?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, so here's where some of you guys might have made that mistake. So yeah, some of you guys are like, yes, it keeps saying that, I'm wrong, but I know I'm right. So here's the deal. Let's figure this out. Y2, what's Y2? Y2 is -4 minus, oh, I should have done that. Let's do it this way. So always start off with that, fraction bar and have the subtraction symbols right here. Then, no, go away.
Negative. Right, so it's a 10. -10, so this should be -10.
So
-10.
-4 goes here. What's Y1? Y1 is 6. What's X2? X2 is 2. Y1 is 3. So -4 and -6. Yes, that's -10. So some of you guys are like, okay, so far I got you. That's what I did. That's what I did. 2 minus 3. 2 minus 3 is -1, right? Because 3 minus 2 is 1 and 3 is negative, so I have to keep the sign of the bigger number. Here's probably where you guys messed up. A negative and a negative, that should have given you a positive. And remember, I said always simplify. So how can I simplify 10 over 1? This should just be 10. So for those of you guys who are putting 10 over 1, the box is going to be like, no, you're wrong, I think. Does it tell you no, you're wrong? Yeah. Because you should always simplify it to the very end, which would be 10. You have a similar question on your homework from yesterday. The answer was 3, but a lot of you guys put 3 over 1 instead of just a 3. So when you guys are doing your homework from yesterday, for some of you guys who haven't done that, go and look. Oh, this is what she was talking about. I see where I should have put a 3. Go back, put a 3, and get, you know, and fix that up. All right. Let's do another. I'm gonna do 2 minutes on this one, just because this one's a trick question.
Costco.
Yeah, I know. All my emails keep popping up, and I need to figure out how to like make it stop. It's not like I have anything. It's all my junk mail stuff. Costco, Hot Topic, Design something or other, a whole bunch of school stuff. All of it is junk because I never look at it and I just delete it. So again, always start off with drawing that fraction bar and then the 2 subtractions. And you might get a weird answer and you might be like, wait a second, what's going on? That's the reason why I only did a 2-minute warning and you only have 30 more seconds.
3 minus 2.
Because technically you don't have to 100% finish this question before you figure out the answer. And there's the timer. All right. Did anyone get the answer?
0.
11.
11. How did you get 11? All right. So let's go step by step. Y2. Y2 is 2. Y1. Y1 is also 2. X2. X2 is -5. And X1 is 3. Here's where the confusion comes from. Yeah. So someone just sent me a message, and yes, that's right. So what's 2 minus 2?
0.
0. So this is where I was like, you don't technically have to finish the question. When I have a 0 up on the top, what is your answer? Is it 0 or is it undefined?
0.
It's 0. So we don't even have to do the rest of it. I mean, I'm still going to, but it would be 0. Down here on the bottom, I have a -5 minus 3. -5 minus 3 gives me a -8 because I'm adding the same, you know, they have the same sign, so add it. So I have a 0 divided by -8, then that's just going to be 0. If it was back, like upside down, and I had the 8 on top and the 0 on bottom, this is when it's undefined. So the 0 on the bottom would be undefined, and then you would come here and you would actually type in undefined. Okay. So keep this in mind whenever you guys are doing that. Like whenever you're going through your questions and you might have an answer that goes 0 on top. If the 0's on top, then your answer is 0. If the 0's on the bottom though, the answer is going to be undefined. And then let's just quickly do the next one. Y1 is 1, or Y2 is 1, Y1 is 3, X2 is 5, and X1 is -1. And this is where I think someone was kind of like asking about this. Do we ever see a plus sign in here? Yeah, and this is why I tell you guys to always put that subtraction symbol there already, because a lot of people would have seen this -1 and gone, well, I don't need this extra negative. Yes, you do. Why? Because a negative times a negative gives me a positive. So both of these turn into a positive. And that changes everything, because I have a negative 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3 is a -2. 5 plus 1 is a 6. And I can simplify this. If I didn't subtract this, then all of a sudden I wouldn't have been able to simplify this part. So always double check when you have some negatives for one of your values, that if it's on the back, you have 2. You have the subtraction symbol and the negative. And then we can divide both of these. So divide the top by 2. So 2 divided by 2 gives me a -1. It's going to be negative because the 2 is negative. 2 goes into 6 3 times. So how would I type this in? I would put a -1 divided by 3. And then again, don't forget to write your reflection before you guys turn it in. Don't forget to put your green hand up saying, yes, please check me. Remember, your reflection needs to be more than, I learned about the slope formula. Cool. What did you learn about it? You know, how do you figure it out? Anything specific. And then that's it. Let me quickly go through some of the stuff that's due on Monday. Obviously, if you guys are done with your notebook, you're done with all of these pages, everything has that green hand, you guys can come here and mark it as done, turn it in. Nothing needs to get attached unless you did anything on paper. Then obviously you would attach it here. You have this types of slope assignment that we did on Tuesday. If you need any help, please watch this video. It's not that bad, and it will help you guys out to figure out what your slope is, what kind of slope you have. But if you guys use this trick of writing the word slope, it'll let you know, does this match? No, so X. Does that match? No, X. Does this match? Yes, it's going up with that line, so I'm going to put that check mark. All right, guys, I know what you're doing, and stop, please. Okay, thank you. Same thing with negatives. I'm going to draw the same slope, but I'm going to be going downhill. So this one goes down. This is great, but if I move this over to the other side, it's not. So mark it as an X. And then the last assignment that we needed to turn in. Oh, if you weren't here yesterday, which I only have 2 people who haven't turned it in, and I know that those people were technically here. So if you haven't turned this in, please turn it in. That's what we did yesterday. And then here is that class kick that I was telling you guys about. I'm going to go here. And again, make sure you're counting how many you're going up first. I'm going up 1, and then count how many you're going over. 1, 2, 3. Because I went to the left, remember, left and down, those directions get a negative number. And I can just leave it like that. You can either draw it, you can type it, whichever you guys like. But your exit ticket is already out. It's right here. once you've done your exit ticket, you guys are free to go. Have a good weekend. Please make sure to be working on all of your assignments. I will be updating all of the work, all of your assignments here shortly. 3 on page 8 for the notes. It was negative 1/3, 1/3. So that's backwards, isn't it? It's negative 1/3.
So that's it.
That's it. You're all set. Make sure to be working on all of your guys' stuff over the weekend, and have a good day, guys.